Back in 2005, Toyota introduced a car called the Aygo. Do you remember it? I certainly do. And in 2022, they brought out the Aygo X. And X means crossover. You get it? Cross, yeah, crossover. This is Toyota's answer to an urban crossover. So it's not quite an SUV because it's not that big, let's face it. But they've done a few extra bits and pieces on this car because they want it to appeal to a certain market. First up, you will notice it's very chunky, very rugged looking. Secondly, you will notice these larger rims it's got on it, 17 or even 18-inch rims on this little car. Quite different. On top of that, you get these chunky sort of plastic cladding around the wings here, both front and rear. And again, inside, the seats have been raised 55 millimeters to give the feeling of driving a bigger car because you're sitting that little bit higher. On top of that, they do a funky range of colours. It's called the Spice range, and you've got things like ginger. Yes, I know, they called this ginger. You've got cardamom, you've got juniper, and you've got red hot chili. So they're really kind of gearing this towards the younger market. Slap bang in the face of young urbanistas, young suburbanites who've got a few pennies to spare to buy one of these. And at the same time, the economy figures stack up. They're really good. We'll check that when we get it out on the road. And it's polar bear friendly, which really helps when it comes to buying a car these days. And on top of that, the most important thing of all, you can buy one of these cars for just under 50 UK pounds a week. Yep, absolutely incredible. But does it stack up? Well, we need to check it out, don't we? As you know, we like to get it around the car, get it out on the road, give it a little road test and give you our opinion of the new Toyota Aygo X. I'm AJ and you are watching me on the Player YouTube channel. And if you've never watched us before, check this out. This is how a car should sound. Listen to this.
I didn't really push it either. I was just having a bit of fun.
Oh, really?
Wheel spring?
Outside. Cool. So there you have it, guys. The Ferrari Roma. My birthday present. Go. We're going to meet the crew and hopefully get the same. Nice, a real one.
I think it makes a good word.
Let's go.
Nice to start.
Nice to see you. Show us your big chopper, your helicopter. So here we are, the Morgan Roadster, where we're here for the Swiss Watch Show. Guys, guess what? It's another morning here out in sunny France. Aygo X is come in 4 different trim levels. Your entry-level car is called the Pure, and it starts from around 15,000 UK pounds. For that, you will get 17-inch rims, you'll get a 7-inch TFT touchscreen in there. Additionally, you will get a reverse camera, very handy indeed, and cruise control for when you're out on the dual carriageway or the motorway. You can just set this up and it will drive itself, which is lovely. Next level up is called the Edge. Then you have the exclusive and top of the range cars, such as the car we have here today, are called limited editions, and they come with the addition of 18-inch alloys. They will also come with LED headlights and a fully retractable canvas roof, which is really nice. I must say, when you're out and it's a beautiful sunny day like today, you can't beat having that roof folded right back. If you're into colours, well, any of the solid colours that are available for this car are included in the price. If you want metallics though, you're going to be paying an extra 590 UK pounds for the privilege. Let's see what's under the bonnet of the Aygo X when it comes to powertrain and gearbox configurations. Right, so your bonnet release catch is just down here in the driver's footwell. Single pull, nice and easy. Don't forget, if you're driving the left-hand drive version of this car, it's going to be in the passenger footwell. Not going to move it around, costs too much money. The actual bonnet release catch itself is slightly down. You just got to fold your fingers over and push to the left, or pull to the left, whichever way you call it. Very light bonnet, it's tiny little bonnet. You don't need any gas struts on this. Your actual bonnet stayers just in the top there. Pop it over there on the left hand side and then just pop that in there. There you go. You've got a 1 litre petrol powered 3-cylinder engine. That will develop around 72 brake horsepower. It comes as front wheel drive only across the entire range. You get a choice of either a 5-speed manual gearbox, or you can opt for an extra 1,000 UK pounds for the fully automatic version. At the end of the day, the choice is yours. But either way, on this little engine here, it might not light up the figures when it comes to 0 to 60 or top speeds, but you're going to be getting around about 53 miles to the gallon average. It's pretty good in my books. Let's check out round at the back of the Aygo X, and well, instantaneously you can see it's very, very chunky and wide at the back. I think it's quite a nice little design actually. Don't forget, this is the limited edition, so consequently it's got all the privacy glass around the back. It's got a few extra bits and pieces which I mentioned when we were talking about the trim levels. However, all cars get the wash and wipe at the back here, which is also very handy. You've got a bit of aero going on up top here with a brake light built in as well, but generally the shape, there's no fake vents or anything. It is what it is at the end of the day. There's no assisted tail lift. It's more of a little hatchback, as you can see. Pops up, great gas struts on there. They're doing the job. It's quite high, so you'll notice it's way over my thigh here. So if you're going to be lifting stuff in and out, it's going to be quite a lift to get it in. And then there is quite a huge drop in there as well. So you've got to be careful lifting stuff over. There's a piece of plastic here. I would suggest you get yourself some sticky back plastic, the clear stuff. Cut yourself a couple of pieces, just lay them across there to protect this, otherwise that's going to end up looking absolutely appalling after about 6 months. So do yourself a favour, for a couple of UK pounds, go and buy yourself some sticky back plastic, put it on there. When it gets all scuffed up and marked, just rip it off, go buy yourself a new piece. It's as simple as that. Nice and easy. AJ's tip of the week there. We've got a little parcel thing going on, parcel shelfy type, blindy type thing. Okay, it's quite handy. You can pop it out. It does the job. It hides what's underneath in there. It's very easy to pop out like that. It's just got a couple of elastic bits in here. You can, at the end of the day, pop this down underneath at the bottom here. It will hide. So if you've got to put stuff in and out of here, it will hide underneath here. You just pop it in there like that. It's out the way. Look at that. Done. Simple as. Easy bit of carpet to manoeuvre. This particular car has the pump and the latex, which you know what I feel about these things. Utterly, utterly useless. No point in having these. They ruin the tyre if you ever use it. If it actually works and it gets you home, great, but you've ruined your tyre, trust me, as I was told by a tyre fitter. Try not to use these if you can, guys. Complete waste of space. Underneath there, not much room to put a spare wheel either, so might have to go down the route of run flats. It's an urban car. Stick some run flats on this car, you're going to be fine. It's going to get you to a garage, no problem at all. You've got just over 200 litres of boot space in this car. It's reasonable. It's not the biggest in its class, but it's reasonable. You're going to get at least 3 or 4 carry-on suitcases in there. So that's, you know, more than adequate what you're going to need for this car, because it is, as we say, you're going to be popping to the airport, dropping people off. They're only going to have carry-on bags because they only go away for the weekend, darling, don't they? If they're going away during the summer, they use the train, far more economical. You've got shopping bag holders here and here, one either side. So you can pop your shopping on there. It's not going to go flying. Your eggs aren't going to go splatting all over the place. Both seats, you've got a 50-50 split on the rear here. Got some tabs here, just pull them forward and then you can just push like that and they will pop down. But you've got to have your seats right forward, as you'll see, because when I put these, the headrests are now sort of pushing against those seats. So I'm going to have to go around and push the seats down. But it does increase the size dramatically. It's still going to have a big lip when you're going to try and push stuff forward in there. So I don't really see this as, you know, the kind of car that you're going to be popping down to the shops on the weekend and buying large items like TVs or, you know, fridge freezers or whatever you think you can get in here. It's not going to work. At the end of the day, that's not what this car is designed for. Get a man with a van, they'll deliver it for you. But at the end of the day, highly practical. Space is there if you do need to get, you know, a dog in here or a couple of dogs or a bigger suitcase or whatever. You're going to have the room in there. Tether points at the bottom as well, so if you do need to tie something off, it's all there. At the end of the day though, practical car. Right, let's check it out in the back for the passengers, what it's like to get in and out. It's very difficult to get in, and it's extremely difficult to get out of this car, as I'll show you when we finish up this segment. Knees literally touching the seats. Normal driving position, you know, I haven't moved it forward. I could do, but it wouldn't be my normal driving position, so that would be not giving you the full information. It's tight, but I have had 2 kids in the back here and they were quite comfortable. So it just goes to show it's not really designed for a couple of extra adults. However, if you were giving someone a lift home from the pub or a lift home from work or something like that, providing you sit sideways like this, you're going to be fine. There's no central armrest because, as we saw in the boot there, it's a 50-50 split, so there's nothing down the middle there. You do kind of, well, you don't even get recessed seat belts on this, but you do kind of have a manoeuvrability with them to fold them over if you want to. There are ISOFIX points in here, as you would imagine. Again, this is very basic setup, but what were you expecting from this car? It's not a premium level car, it's a basic setup car. There's no USB charging points in the back here. There's a single cup holder. Obviously they're thinking that there's just one individual going to be sitting in the back here with his legs or her legs crossed over there with a cup put in there. The material itself, well, it's again basic finish. It's going to be white friendly, it's family friendly, that's all that matters. This particular car has that fold back sunroof, you know, the actual material sunroof, so it's sort of lost a little bit at the back here because of that. However, it's still got plenty of height in it, so it doesn't feel cramped as such. It's just the fact you haven't got any leg room whatsoever. Also, these windows at the back don't open, they don't come down. There's just a button over here that you can only just push them out. They remind me of back in the days in the late 70s of Minis. Minis always had that type of window, and it's a very small window. I know it's got privacy glass, but if you suffer from car sickness, it's not going to be nice in the back of this car unless you've got that lovely roof open, and you're only going to get that if you go for the limited edition. So, you know, there's all sort of pros and cons. Not really geared up for passengers, in my opinion. It's geared up for a couple of young kids, which you'd probably be all right unless they get car sick. Now, I'm just going to show you getting out of here because it is quite a palaver. You literally have to back out of this car. It's the only real way you can get out and in, coming in the same way. And there you go. So it's not scoring points in the back for me. That's all I can say. Up front in the Aygo X, and the all-new design I think is very pleasant indeed. I really love this sort of piano black finish. Love the way the screen has been tucked back in there, and you've got the buttons here rather than having all the touch screen stuff. I mean, it is a touch screen, but at the end of the day, it's still nice to have the buttons. This car doesn't come as keyless entry or keyless ignition, so you've got a key. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually turn the power on so we can have a look at the computer and stuff. While that's starting up, let's just have a flick through what we've got in here. Nice manual handbrake in the middle here. Can't beat a manual handbrake. Absolutely love it. This is the 5-speed manual gearbox. Love the height of that. Have you noticed how high it is? It's just a really nice driving position. Very easy gearbox to use as well. Slightly high on the clutch. You're going to notice that when you go for your test drive. You're going to be in gear like that, and as you lift, you're going to get almost to the top before the car actually bites. It seems to be like that on a number of these cars because I've driven a couple of them now. You've got double cup holder at the front then, and you've got a place to put your mobile phone there, stops it rattling around as well. Just above that, you've got the 12-volt adapter. So if you need to pump something up, you know, plug a pump in or something, that's going to be good for that. And then you've got a USB next to it. Single USB. Don't forget, all these cars, or don't forget, I'm telling you now, all these cars come with Android mirroring and Apple Play, but it only works when you plug it in, and it will all come up on this lovely TFT touchscreen you've got up here. Now, you know me, guys, if you've watched me before, I love a knob. Can't beat a knob. This has got some really lovely black knobs in here as well. The whole thing is really sexy. So your knobs down here are for your heating. Your car comes with air conditioning. You set that to auto if you want by pushing your knob. If you turn your knob, you change the temperature. So it's a dual action knob. We love a dual action knob. To the right here, you've got your manual fan adjustment here. So now you're twisting your knob. So you've twisted it, you've pushed it, and you're turning it. I love it. You've got your aircon on there. It's nice and easy to use. It's just a dual zone air climate control in this car. More knobs up the top here. Can't beat a couple of knobs up on your radio. We've got a tuning knob over here, and to the left you've got a volume knob, which is lovely. As I said, you've got these nice push buttons, so very simple to use. You can go into your radio, you can change your mode and your media and everything on it. Very simple stuff, basic stuff, nothing you're going to need a technical, you know, brainstorming license for a computer degree or something like that. And if you don't want to use the buttons, you just use your fingers like that, and you can just tap, and it always gives you a little sound, gives you a bit of feedback, lets you know that you've selected that. Now let's have a look at the actual steering wheel itself, and it's a semi digital cluster. I'll explain that in a second. So steering wheel, really nice. Again, it's got a little sort of, you know, piano black piece down here as well. It's got a nice feel to it. Now there is one problem with this steering wheel. Watch this. So it drops immediately. It goes up and down like that. Now when you can't pull it out or push it back. So unfortunately, you can't quite always get the best seating position that you want. You have to manually adjust your seat like that, or pump it up or down like that. That I think is a bit strange. Normally you have, you know, you can pull it back. So if you've got long legs but short arms, which we're all different, we're all made different, then you're going to struggle to get the ideal seating position in this car. I find that a little bit strange, but nevertheless, you know, you can still adjust it up and down. So that's the main thing. See straight through there, really nice. Got a great little windscreen on this car. It's got a lot of depth to this car. I will say that it's got a huge amount of depth on the actual fascia itself here. It seems to go on forever, but nonetheless, it's still nice. And that sort of extra 55mm that you've got that's lifting this car up to give it that SUV crossover urban-y feel or whatever it is, it kind of works. We'll check that out when we get it out on the road. So steering wheel itself, right hand side, driver aids, top right hand side. On this particular car, entry-level car gets cruise control. Remember that, I did mention that. This particular car's got everything on it because it is the limited edition. So you've got the distance control, you've got the lane keeper, you've got the speed limiter, you've got the cruise control. And then in the middle there, you've got a button that sets all that really easy. Just flick up and down. Once you go, you just click onto your cruise control, flick up and down and set the speed however you want it. And to cancel it, obviously there is a cancel button there if you want to use it, or you just hit the brake, or you know, as simple as that really. I don't need to explain, you know how to use cruise control anyway. Underneath that, you've got your media change button down here. So you change between, there's a mode button, and then to the right of it, you can change between your Bluetooth, you can change to DAB radio and your FM band as well. So it's got all that built in. The mode button itself changes that around, and then you've got your track change here on the bottom right. So if you're listening to your tunes, so you've got your Android mirroring on, or you've got your Apple Play on, you want to flick between your tunes, that's where you do it on the bottom right hand side. Slight mix up between the driver aids and the media content, but hey ho, it's just the way Toyota do it. Left hand side, you've got a back button, and then you've got the controls for your onboard computer. Top right, you've got the telephone adjustment system there. You can just push that and that will turn your telephone to a receiver call, or, you know, finish a call. Down the bottom there, you've got your volume control as well, and then you've got left, right, that's between, you know, just moving between the different bits and pieces that you've got on your trip computer. Now I'm going to go through the computer here. To move up and down, there's a little scroll button. You go through it, you can have your radio up there showing in the middle. It's all digital on that bit. The outer side is the analog piece, standard analog dials on there, very simple again. But just using this is lovely. When you're driving along, you can just flick between your tunes. You can actually set bits up, and it's got your trip computer on there. It's telling me what I'm getting to the mile, you know, miles to the gallon and things like that. It's really nice, very, very easy to use. Bottom right hand side here, there is a panel over here. You've got your auto stall button here. You can turn that on and off. So if you're fed up with the car auto stalling every time you pull up to the traffic lights, you can turn that off and it won't do it. To the right of that, you've got your traction control. Why you would turn that off, I don't know, because really you're never going to be out on track in this car. You always want your traction control on. Then you've got your auto light button there as well, which is good. To the right of that, you've got the dip beam. You can change the angle of the lights because this is an urban crossover car. If you're going out in the country for the evening to a local country pub, you can have a couple of beers and then you're going to drive back. As you go out into the country lanes, it's nice. You can actually maneuver the lights to slightly go up so you get a longer beam with your lights, and then when you come back into town and you've got to go back to towny style, then you can just push that back down again and it will lower the actual angle and you won't be dazzling people in front of you. So nice little bits and pieces. Usual place for your lights, just set them up to auto. It'll come on automatically when it gets too dark. Right hand side obviously is your wiper stalk, and again you can set that into the auto mode as well, and the wipers will pick up whether it's starting to rain or not. All in all though, it's quite a nice area to be in. It's quite a comfortable driver's position. The seats are very well bolstered. I love the accents on the side here. You can see them running around here. Really nice little finish. Let's check the glove box lastly. Does come with the inevitable owner's manual, which is a shame. I hate these things because I think they're a waste of money. We don't need them anymore. If you need to know how to change a fuse on this car or change something, you just go online, that's all you do. And there's YouTubers like me that discuss all these sorts of things. So you're going to find out. You don't need a whole owner's manual and a whole pouch to put it in. I'm sorry, I just think it's just a bit of a waste. I'd rather have a set of run flats instead of, having to pay out for one of these. And it would save room in your glove box because that's got a decent sized glove box. Finish all around really nice. It's not premium quality, but it's a nice finish and it looks smart. I love all the piano black and the bit. I love the steering wheel as well. Really nice so far, Toyota. Let's get this out on the road, see what it's like to drive, because I believe this could be quite a cracking little car to get to grips with. Let's go and try it. Out on the road in the Aygo X, it just totally wasn't what I was expecting. It's fun, it's responsive, it's just a great little car. It's really easy to drive as well. And I love the all-round peripheral vision in this car. It's brilliant. The mirrors are set up perfectly. The seat height, I've got it in the right position now. Initially, it took a little bit of sorting out because you can't adjust the steering as well as normal. I love all the controls, everything's to hand. Very easy to use, cruise control and the lane keeping and bits and pieces like that. Radio sounds good, the DAB sounds good, the tunes sound good. Yeah, it's really, really nailing it, and it's very comfortable as well. I mean, it really sort of takes, the edge off some of these big bumps. I was quite surprised at that. I thought it was going to be a much firmer suspension. I thought it was going to give me a much harder ride, but it isn't. Brakes are excellent, really, really good brakes on this. The only thing I have found is the pre-collision warning system on this particular car is a little bit oversensitive. So it tends to go off at the slightest thing. Like now we've got a truck in the middle of the road. I mean, it didn't actually do it, but it's been going off for the slightest reason. So I was a little bit put off by that because I'm always worried that it's suddenly going to go into the autonomous braking itself. I mean, this does have the Toyota anti-collision system will actually steer you around what it considers an accident, an impending accident. So it's not going to actually hit the brakes and throw you through the windscreen, so to speak. But it's just that little bit off-putting. But that's about it, really. The rest of it is simply superb. Wonderful little drive. I'm really enjoying driving the car. And I think above all, that's at the end of the day what matters is whether you actually enjoy driving it. Nice gearbox. Really do like the manual gearbox in this car. I thought I'd probably prefer the auto, especially around town. But changing gear and the height of the gear shift itself is really nice as well. So all in all, really good on all fronts as far as driving's concerned. When it comes to economy, well, Toyota say this car should be getting around about 53, mid-50s, shall we say, to the gallon. I am currently getting around these country lanes 47.2. Incredible. This will easily do mid-50s on a run. I haven't had a chance to take it on a run yet, but I'm sure once I get it into cruise control, 70 miles an hour, decent run, I think it's going to be a no-brainer. It's going to be 55, possibly even up, higher than 55. So there you go. It's got a nice little grunt, this engine. At the same time, it gives you a grrr. You can hear it in the background there. I'm enjoying going through the gears, driving it like a proper car, and generally all-round stunning little car to drive. Loving it, guys. Really loving it. So there you have it, the Toyota Aygo X. What did I think of it? Well, at the end of the day, it's fun, it's funky, it's economical, and it's friendly to the environment. So it's ticking a lot of boxes. On top of that, it comes in at a price that many of us can currently afford. So I think Toyota have done a very good job. In addition to that, I think they've done a very good job with the warranty, because with this car, you get a 10-year or 100,000 mile warranty, whichever comes first. In addition to that, you will get a 12-year anti-perforation warranty with it. And that means all your rusty bits and pieces, if there were any, are fully covered as well for 12 years, unlimited mileage as well. You get a 3-year paint warranty. So your lovely ginger paintwork is protected for at least 3 years. Again, brilliant. And finally, if that all wasn't enough, you get 1 year's roadside assistance with this car as well. So if anything happens once you've driven out the showroom, you're fully covered on that as well. There's tons of different service plans. Speak to your Toyota salesperson when you go down for your test drive. They'll run through all of those bits and pieces with you. I've really enjoyed driving this car, and I hope you have enjoyed the review that we've done on the Toyota Aygo X. You've been watching me, AJ, on the Player YouTube channel. Don't forget, like, subscribe and comment. And if you've got any questions at all about this car, then feel free to put the question or the comment down in the comment box below. There's a subscribe button down there as well, because you saw at the beginning of this video, we don't just do car reviews, there's tons of other stuff as well. So if you subscribe and leave the bell sign unchecked, you'll get regular updates every time we put a video up. And it might be just something that you could be interested in, not necessarily a car review. So it's well worth subscribing. On top of that, I'm going to ask you a favour, but I'm going to ask you a favour and I'm going to return a favour. It's quite a good way of doing it, in my opinion anyway. The favour is, can you give us a thumbs up? Because we don't get a bonus, we don't get paid any extra for what we do, but what we do get, if you give us a thumbs up, we get a pat on the back from the boss to say, job well done, AJ, keep up the good work. So it would help. So in return for that, I'm going to give you something for nothing now. It's called the Player Bookazine. Yes, it's a bookazine. A bookazine is a magazine, so it comes out on the same frequency as a magazine, but it's got a hardback cover. And ours is called The Player, and it's for guys, just for guys. There's boats in there, there's jet skis, there's motorcycles, there's cars, there's holidays, there's golf, there's food, there's interviews. I could keep going on and on. 220 pages of everything us guys absolutely love. And you can get your hands on the online version. Can't actually give you the main hardback version. They cost 100 UK pounds each. Feel free to buy one if you want to, but mainly if you can go online, you're going to get it for free. You can read it online and zoom in on all the pages. Utterly brilliant. Head over to www.theplayer.co.uk. The bods that do these videos will bring it up here now somewhere, and they'll leave it up there for a few seconds so you can memorise that. Don't worry about filling in loads and loads of forms or any credit cards, anything like that. There's no way to capture, just need a name and an email, and then the rest is totally yours. You can feast your eyes on everything that the Player produces. Thanks for watching, guys. I've enjoyed doing the Toyota Aygo X this week. Something different next week, hopefully equally as interesting as this little car. I'll catch you then.